They say there's a young woman, a young racist in Atlanta. She's a racist. And they say, I guess, they say that she was after a certain gang and she ended up having an affair with the head of the gang or a gang member. And this is a person that wants to indict me. She's got a lot of problems, but she wants to indict me to try and run for some other office.
Fulton County DA Fani Willis fired back at allegations made by the former president. In an email to her colleagues obtained by the AP, Willis called the accusations, quote, derogatory and false. She urged her staff not to respond to the allegations publicly. Willis also wrote, quote, we have no personal feelings against those we investigate or prosecute, and we should not express any, end quote.
Hey guys, before we get started, I just wanted to give a big thanks to you, the viewer, for taking time to watch this video. Please hit that like button so we can take advantage of that YouTube algorithm and get this video spread to the masses. Also, hit that subscribe button and that notification bell to get notified of future videos. In my previous video, if you haven't had a chance to watch it yet, please, if you have a moment, take the time to watch it. I had mentioned that I was going to make a follow-up video based on what President Trump said at a New Hampshire rally recently in regards to Fani Willis having an alleged affair with a known gang member or gang leader. Now, many people aren't aware of this. I wasn't aware of this, but there have been some YouTubers who have made videos regarding this, and I felt the need to make another video about it just so the word can spread out and to see the type of people that President Trump is dealing with. In this case, I wanted to focus on Fani Willis and examine her character. Now, before she was a DA, she was a defense attorney, and she defended a co-founder of the YSL music group. If you ask a Georgia official, they would say YSL is actually a gang. Now, in Rolling Stone, they interviewed YSL Mondo, and he had some things to say about Fani Willis. Rolling Stone: Fani Willis was a lawyer for a YSL co-founder, YSL Mondo. He says she's not who she seems. Now let's keep going down here as you see Fani Willis. Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis has built a reputation as a tough on crime prosecutor, eager to fill Atlanta prisons through sweeping indictments. But YSL Mondo, who co-founded the Young Stoner Life music crew with Young Thug in the early 2010s, tells Rolling Stone that the Fani Willis he sees on TV isn't the same woman who served as his defense attorney in 2019 during an aggravated assault case. This is not her character. This is not who she is, he says during a phone call. I done had auntie to nephew, mother to son type of talks with her. I know this, not her character. This is what made me start looking at the YSL case like I know it's bigger than just her. It's it's politics behind this shit. It's other people that's behind her pulling strings. Willis, who is currently prosecuting Young Thug and 13 other defendants in a RICO case alleging that YSL is a criminal gang, which he has denied. Oh, RICO case, criminal gang. That sounds familiar. It sounds like something I had mentioned in the previous video. If you haven't watched it, take time to watch it. Worked as a prosecutor in the Fulton County DA's office for 16 years, but she briefly left the office in 2018 to establish her own practice, the law offices of Fani T. Willis, LLC. Mondo, a West Atlantic rapper who dropped his debut album in January. He had it, basically says he didn't know her. His cousin knew her, and he was just going on based off the suggestion of his cousin to have her represent him in court. And the cousin was saying she's a good lawyer, good lady. She's a good friend. Now, the article also says he posted a clip of his cases, 2019 court proceedings on Instagram. The video has since been deleted. Basically, it says that, you know, she was cool. She was like, you know, patting him on the back. You know, nothing crazy. She was a nice woman. She added, when I represented him, he received 110% effort from me. I advocated for him with zeal. I tend to meet my clients where they are. I hope you understand what that means. I want to see him do amazing things with his life, and I hope that's where he's headed. Mondo says that she was a great attorney for him, getting his aggravated assault charge dropped to a lesser one and having him sentenced to a program in lieu of prison time. He says that even after his sentence, she worked to get him an early release from the program due to COVID. And beyond her casework, he says that the two shared a quote-unquote cool relationship, with her being aware of his rap career and even using it in her defense. That's why the YSL indictment is surprising to Mondo. That's not her character, he contends. She's almost like not really street, but she understands what's going on, bro. She understands life to a certain degree. She ain't trying to take all these little black dudes down. She ain't that type of woman, man. I'm telling you, she's not. So based on his experience, what she's portraying to the press is completely different than his interaction with her while she was his defense attorney. But here's the thing, right here. Mondo recalls that Willis's final advice to him provided a glimpse of where her career was headed. She was like, "Don't mess my name up. You know I'm about to get ready to run for this head DA. You F around and do something else, I'm going to sock it to your ass." He recalls in their conversation. Willis told us, the comment sounds like me, but I don't recall the conversation verbatim. After his case was resolved, the two didn't talk, and he hadn't kept up with her until 2 years later when he saw her press conference announcing her desire to convict his friends in YSL, including Young Thug. Next thing you know, I saw her on TV doing this indictment, and I was so puzzled, like, damn, where did this come from? Where the hell did this come from? He recalls. Now, where did this come from? That's an interesting question. Where did this come from? Why all of a sudden did she flip the script and all of a sudden go on an attack against the other founder, the Young Thug, who was a co-founder with YSL Mondo in YSL? Why she turn and just go after him and the rest of the people in YSL? And by the way, she's not touching YSL Mondo, and I believe that's because she already represented him and there was a conflict of interest. However, I believe that even if that's the case, she's a DA. So she's a DA. She's not like going into courtrooms and actually trying this case. She's, at least I don't believe, I could be wrong, but I don't believe she could get an ADA to do that. She can get an ADA to go back against YSL Mondo. So I don't think YSL Mondo is completely in the clear, but I can tell you right now, a RICO charge, from what I've been reading, most likely you will get convicted of RICO charge, but it's with the appeal that it can get overturned. But most likely you can get convicted. That's why I say that of all the indictments that Donald Trump has been facing right now, the most likelihood of him getting convicted will be from this Georgia RICO charge. And I believe that's going to happen. And the problem with that is, let's say he does get convicted, he can't pardon himself as president, or it's going to be very difficult if he wins and tries to pardon himself as president in this case. Also, unlike other states in the U.S., Georgia, the governor of Georgia, Brian Kemp, doesn't have the power to pardon convicted criminals. So it's going to be a tough one for Trump. I don't know exactly what's going to happen. It's going to be very interesting in the next year and a half. Very, very interesting. But back to this article. Basically, he's wondering, YSL Mondo, why Fani Willis is going after Young Thug and his friends. Well, let's look into that. But first, let's hear from YSL Mondo himself. He was on the Ugly Money podcast. I have to, give a shout out. He got the interview. Let's see what YSL Mondo has to say.
Fani Willis lady.
Fani Willis.
Fani Willis lady. That was just my lawyer. I got proven facts for this. With everybody, this things I know. Everybody don't seen.
So wait a minute. Yeah, Fani Willis, was she the prosecutor?
She's the DA lady.
Yeah, the
now.
DA.
This
the
is
DA
all
was your attorney at one point in time.
Yes, this before she turned to be. Wow. With the last case I just fought, I had just got out of jail.
Yeah.
I had just got out of jail. The last case I just fought, I was the last case she was doing before she turned to being the DA.
So she switched sides. She was on defense, and then she went.
This on
wow.
the honest to God truth. This ain't nothing that can be hid.
So she represented you on a case right before this case that she is.
That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Wow.
How God working the spirit. Wow. It's the honest to God truth.
So you think that she tried to use some of the things? You think
she
that
couldn't? She can't. That's conflict. That's like conflict of interest. You were just my lawyer. So how can you turn around and try to indict a for? Don't sound like you my lawyer. You just represent me.
Fani.
So that's what he hopes. He hopes that Fani Willis won't go after him like she's going after the co-founder, the other co-founder. He's one of them. YSL Mondo, the man you see right here, is a co-founder of YSL. Now, Young Thug, he's the other co-founder, and that's who Fani Willis is going after, as well as his associates. Again, why is Fani Willis going after Young Thug? Let's see.
Fani Willis was the lawyer of one of the founding members of YSL, and then she turns around years later and indicts the YSL.
Yeah, it wasn't even like a year. It wasn't even years later. This probably it was like 2-3 years later. It was years later. It's about 2.
How hasn't nobody said anything about that? How is that not all over the news? How is that not something that's brought up? If Fani Willis was representing members of the YSL, then why is she now the head DA of indicting and arresting members of the YSL? Like, she could basically try to use the information that she used to defend you to indict people.
But she ain't have she can't use no information. If what you ain't got nothing on me saying I'm doing nothing. You feel what I'm saying?
Respect.
Maybe, perhaps, maybe he just hopes that. I don't know.
Do you think be conflict of interest? Period.
Do you think she got like something personal against y'all?
I don't know.
Now, let's try to answer that question. So Complex put out an article about a year ago, and it talks about Young Thug's indictment. 56 counts, okay? And it also includes various people in his crew. And the charges include RICO. Ooh, RICO. Sounds familiar. Murder, armed robbery, aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, possession of a firearm, theft, violation of Georgia Controlled Substances Act, and participation in street gang activity. Again, Georgia officials will say that YSL is a street gang, while YSL will just say they're a music group. Okay, so let's go down to here. Let's go back in time a little bit. In January 2015, 26-year-old Donovan Big Nut Thomas Jr., a YFN affiliate. Now, YSL and YFN, from my understanding, they were rivals. Okay, who YFN Lucci named his 2017 Long Live Nut project after, was shot and killed outside of a barbershop in Atlanta. Young Thug is accused of renting the car that was used in the murder. Okay. In a press conference, DA Fani Willis claimed Thomas Jr.'s death marked the beginning of violence like Atlanta has never seen. Willis also noted that the situation is personal to her, and she made a promise directly to Thomas Jr.'s mother after his death. It was a commitment I made from the first day I walked into this office. Very shortly after me becoming a DA, I sat down with Mr. Thomas's mother, and I made her a promise that her son was as valuable as any other person within our community, and that I would put resources on this case, and that I would do everything that I could to make sure that her son had justice. And yesterday was a proud day for me. Interesting. So and this again, YSL Mondo was like, what's going on? What, you're completely different. You were like trying not to put us away and everything. Now you turn around and this. So why is she having so much, putting so much energy, into this? It's like she has some kind of personal vendetta against YSL. Well, allegedly, Donovan Big Nut Thomas is the guy that Fani Willis had an alleged affair with. Okay, has been confirmed, denied. This is just a rumor. Okay, I'm not saying it's concrete, just a rumor. But when YSL Mondo is asked that question back in that interview, hey, does she have a personal vendetta? And he's like, I don't know. I don't think so. The personal vendetta is this man right here. He was gunned down by YSL, and Young Thug was driving the getaway car. He rented it. I'm not sure if he drove it, but he at least rented it. He was in the scene. He was there. As you can see, all these indictment charges here, everything. Also, she's using the lyrics of their songs against them. Everything. She's just going after them completely. So that's basically what I was able to find so far. As you can see, YSL Mondo was surprised by the Fani Willis's turn from defense attorney, patting him on the back, saying, "Oh, we're not gonna try to get all these black people in prison." All of a sudden, she flipped, comes DA, and she's throwing indictment after indictment, throwing RICO charge after RICO charge. And I'm not saying that some of these people don't deserve these charges. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying that based on her character, who she is, she seems like a very ambitious woman. I can see that she may want to be a governor one day, pull maybe even a Kamala Harris and become a VP one day, so I can see that happening in this situation. And she wants to, make a profile for herself. She wants to make a profile for herself to come off as a celebrity, and it's important. The image and everything is important if you want to get to that spotlight. And she has that ambition right now. So, I don't think it's not going to go well with Young Thug. It's not going to go well with Young Thug, the YSL people. YSL Mondo, he may get something on him. I don't know. I don't think he's out of the woods completely, but it's over for Young Thug. That's it for them. But the big thing I want to take away from is that this murder of Donovan Big Nut Thomas happened in 2015. Okay? Happened in 2015. If it's true, and again, it's a rumor, if it's true that she had a relationship with Donovan, and that's what prompted her to go after the entire YSL crew, as she is right now, or it could be just an added thing to, of course, the violence that's going on, and maybe they are guilty of RICO and everything, but her pursuit is being fueled not only by the crimes they committed, but a personal vendetta. You can see the type of woman she is, and the type of woman that is going after President Trump, because this Young Thug, no one really knows about it unless you're in Georgia or maybe the surrounding states, or you're heavily into hip hop, R&B, and you're just tracking the news. But when it comes to going after President Trump, that's nationwide, worldwide. Okay, that can boost your profile, and I think that's what she wants, and that's who Donald Trump is dealing with, amongst the other 3 indictments and an election he has to run for. So Trump is busy. But that is the situation right now. We shall see what happens in the next year and a half, it's going to be a whirlwind. Well, that's the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please take the moment to like this video so it can spread to the masses, and subscribe to get notifications of future videos. Until then, take care.